Good evening. Welcome to our November board meeting. It's Thanksgiving week, and I guess, well, I feel like I'm ready for Thanksgiving. I'll introduce myself, Anna Marie Pavlik-Rosen, board chair. To my right, Walt Baldwin, vice chair. Don Hale, secretary treasurer. Steve Mason, member, and James Liebman, our parliamentarian counsel for the board. We'll go ahead with our first item. Consider approving minutes from the October 16th, 2018 board meeting. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at those? Do we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of accepting the minutes? Aye. Okay, motion passed. Number 2, action item, accept electric, water, cable, financials, October 2018. David Denton to present.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board. Frankfort Plant Board has a fiscal year that runs from July to June of each year. So we are presenting tonight the 4th month of the fiscal year, financials for as of October 31st, 2018. So I'd like to start with our statement of net position, also known as a balance sheet in the for-profit world. Page 13, looking at our assets, line 65, we had total assets as of 10/31/18 of just over $180.7 million. Of that, 64% of our assets are held in our property, plant, and equipment. This is a very capital-intensive business, and that is definitely represented by our financials. Looking at our liabilities, line 70 through 130, you can see our total liabilities as of October 31st, just under $99.1 million. Something I'd like to point out is on the third column, you can see for those that look at our financials and board, it shows we're up $13.2 million in liabilities for the year. Something I'd like to just show there is line 70 through 105 is our accounts payable, accrued expenses, things of that nature, and some of our payments down on our bonds, leases, and loans. When you consider those lines, we actually had paid down those in total just under $1.4 million. So the increase that we're seeing, it's actually just under $14.6 million in our liabilities is for the deferred inflows, net pension liabilities, and our other post-employment benefit liability. Those are all due to the recording of liabilities the Frankfort Plant Board has for the Kentucky retirement system. So just want to point those out. Those increases in liabilities are things outside of our control, and I think it's worth financial statement users to see and make note of that. Net position, when you take your assets minus liabilities, you're left with a net position of just over $81.6 million as of October 31st. That is really not anything substantial from the end of the fiscal year, which we had audited financial statements we presented back in September. So nothing significant. Unless there are any questions, I'd like to move over to page 14, our cash and investment schedule. We had line 80, restricted and unrestricted cash of just over $26.8 million, and restricted and unrestricted investments held solely in certificates of deposit of just under $9.4 million there on line 130. I'd like to speak briefly about our bonds, leases, and notes payable on page 15. We started out the year, July 1, at just under $42 million. You can see on the decreases line there, we've paid down through the first 4 months of the year $905,000 in principal. Most of our payments fall in semi-annual periods in December and June. We do have a few that are quarterly. So these are representing quarterly payments that you see there made in October. We will have substantial payments, over $2.6 million in principal we'll pay down in December, which will present those to you in January. You can see as of October 31st, we had just under $41.1 million. As our budget for 2018 and 19 shows, we are on track to pay our debt down by $5.1 million, which is approximately 12% reduction from where we were at the beginning of the fiscal year. So that is good news. If there's no questions, I'd like to just look at the financial performance through the first 4 months of the year on page 16. This is a summary of the statement of revenue, expenses, and change in net position. Kind of roll up all of our revenue and expense accounts for you. If you look at lines 5 through 20, you see our operating revenue. Looking budget to actual, so I'm looking at the third and fourth columns. Comparably, you can see electric, we're up $1.6 million for the year. We did not have any rate changes this year, as you'll remember, so the increase from last year's performance and budget to actual is an increase in usage. We've had an increase of usage of electricity of about 2.7% from this time a year ago. Look at our water, we're about $200,000 above budget for the period. We do have our water usage, billed usage is down about 2.6%. So the increase there is primarily from rate changes that we had in August. And if you look at our cable revenue, we're actually, you couldn't get much closer on budgeting for that. We're about $14,000 ahead of where we thought we'd be for the year. As Shane will present here in a few moments, you'll see our customer counts for all of our telecom services are holding steady, actually a little above for most of our services. So that has helped contributing to our year. Also, if you look back at the detail of telecom, you'll see in our advertising section, the political ads definitely came flowing in this year, so we had a big increase year over year in advertising. Looking at our expenses, lines 25 through 145, you'll notice that we've kept cost in check and below budget, which is contributing to our increase at net contribution on line 205 of just under $4.6 million for the period. We've provided detailed statements of revenue, expense, and change in net position for all of our divisions, also summaries of our cash and check registers for our two frequently used checking accounts for your review. That's a quick summary where we are through October. As you all know, we have to required by statute to be audited each year, and next month we'll be bringing an engagement letter to the board for approval to go ahead and get it set up for the next for the current fiscal year audit. So that's where we are for the first 4 months. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we prepared to go ahead and make a motion to accept the financials? Okay. Motion by Steve and second by Walt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Item number 3, public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment at this time? Okay, I guess that means we're doing everything correctly. Thank you. Number 4, departmental reports, website customer comments. I didn't notice any. Were there any? No? Okay. Cable department update.
As David mentioned earlier, as far as the customer service penetration, I'm sorry. I'm Shane Holt. I'm filling in for Adam. Like I said, as David had mentioned, we're running pretty close to the budgeted estimates for the 2018 for all the different lines of service within cable. As far as the trouble call chart on page 111, numbers came in at 405 this month, with the highest majority of them being part of the non-FPB related issues, which is typically customer-owned equipment. As far as the cable outage report, there was only 4 within October, one of them being a power supply failure. The other 3 were related to the amplifiers in the system, and looking at the dates, I'd assume it's probably storm-related because that was a Halloween storm that we had. Other than that, if there's any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And next, customer service. Right.
And so we added that in there. They have a really nice way of giving you the exact number and the percentage and exactly what those calls were for. So that has been added, and we also added a breakdown of the walk-in customers, just trying to get an idea of what people are coming in to do and different ways that maybe they can do those things.
Okay.
Answer any questions?
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, our next item is the electric department.
Madam Chair, members, electric department report on page 120. Our SAIDI numbers, you can see there, 64.8. Next page there, 121, got a pie chart there, it shows that the majority of our outages, you can tell is wind. We had a lot of wind this past month. And go on back to page 123, you'll see that 7 out of 10 outages there were all on the same day, of October 20th, which was the major storm we had this past month.
Wow.
Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. That's good. Thank you. The SEPA report.
Yes, Madam Chair, report. If you look on page 124, you'll see the SEPA report. There's the graph of 3 years of data. And then on 125, you will see the numbers for the month of September. We lost $8,473. And for the total year, that leaves us still to the good, $23,533. Part of the reason the actual energy energy market cost was up for the month, but the amount of energy we received was down due to a lot of the maintenance things they're working on with the dam. They're replacing a number of medium voltage cables that took some of their equipment offline. So that was some of the things that happened this month. If you look over on page 126, you will see our total benefit since 1997 for SEPA. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have on that, and if you have time, I've got a few more items I'd like to mention.
Sure. Looking at October and November from previous years, that those are also negative months. So do we think that'll continue probably?
Yes, I believe so.
And is that all due to the maintenance or just less demand?
No, I think that's less demand, and in those months, they stop flowing as much water in the dams usually, and
Oh,
they're down to their winter pools usually.
okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead with your
Okay.
other items.
I just wanted to mention a few staff folks. If Darren would stand back there, I'd like to introduce you to our newest staff member, Darren Rambo. He is going to be our Network Operations Center Manager, and so he comes to us from the city. A lot of people in Frankfort already know Darren. Just to tell you a little bit about him, Darren was the director of the Frankfort and Franklin County E911 Center, and he has over 26 years of experience in public safety and emergency management. Over the course of his career, he served as a firefighter, paramedic, emergency management director, and Homeland Security director. So Darren will be working with us to kind of bring the after-hours call center back in-house to the Frankfort Plant Board. If the board remembers, at the budget, we approved a specific amount of money to bring that back. But part of that deal was we would bring a manager in, we'd work on a business case, if you will, on exactly how to migrate that call system back here, and then we would come back to the board. So we expect to try to do that sometime around probably the January board meeting and present more information to you and explain exactly how we want to staff the department up and move forward with that. So I know a lot of our customers are excited about getting that done. That's something that they've asked for quite a bit. So anyway, I'm really excited to have Darren on board. I've known Darren for quite a few years. We've kind of worked together through the city and plant board relationship. So Darren, glad to have you here.
Okay, thank you.
And then so we say hello to one employee, and then we say goodbye to another employee who's retiring, Mark Redmond. I'm sure you're familiar with Mark. He's our support services director. Mark's not here tonight. We decided since he was a week from retiring, we'd give him a night off if he wanted it. So, no, he took this week off for Thanksgiving. So, anyway, he's not here. But I did want to just mention so the public would understand one of the kind of unsung heroes behind the scenes that nobody really sees on a day-to-day basis. Mark started as our stock clerk in November of 1992. Then he was promoted to inventory control coordinator, then storeroom supervisor, and then finally he was support services director in 2005 up until today. And so Mark and his department is in charge of dealing with all of our inventory, our stockroom, the garage, the maintenance of all of our facilities, all the buildings we're in, like this building, the grounds crew, the janitor service, the purchasing agent, all those kind of things, all the little things we deal with, from the water we have to, if the room's clean and all those kind of things, that all of our buildings are functioning. Mark's been responsible for all those folks that do that job every day. And I think a lot of times people think about the Frankfort Plant Board and you think of electric or water or their telecommunications department, but there's a lot of these small things that we count on every single day. And Mark's department has done that, and he's been an excellent manager for years and years. So I actually grew up with Mark, and we went to elementary school even together, so I've known him for many, many years. I didn't know I'd get stuck with him for all these years, but I'm just joking. Mark has been an excellent friend and an excellent manager for the plant board, and we are going to miss him. Leanne Phillips, as you know, that was our purchasing agent, has taken over for Mark, and she'll do a fabulous job, and we have all the confidence in her. But we also are definitely going to miss Mark and all the experience he had. So I would absolutely like to say thank you to Mark and everything he's done for us. So thank you.
Yeah, I've worked with Mark a little bit on the pollinator habitat. We have our test plot near the cable service center, and he was helpful with that, and maybe he got worn out with the new building.
Well, he was responsible for making that transition from our old building to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can imagine all the furniture and the bits and pieces and making sure all those kind of things happened, and everybody got moved and all those things, that's probably, I would say, the biggest single thing he had to do since he was been here. So it was quite a job. So, but he did a great job. It was really, by and large, a seamless transition, and that's due a lot to certainly his department and his leadership.
Yep, that's good. Okay, thank you. Did you have anything else? Okay, thank you. KyMEA, Gary.
Madam Chair and the board, actually I went through the second meeting of KyMEA, and everything followed the plan. There are many discussing for the future, but there's no near future decision. So we feel confident that KyMEA moved to the right direction, and we hope the plan board can play a more leading role to help the agency to move to the right direction to benefit everyone.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Safety.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board. My name is J.C. Lyons. I'll be actually filling in for Kim Phillips tonight. I'm the new Field Safety Assistant. So, if y'all turn to page 128, you'll notice some wonderful news. We had no OSHA recordables for the month of October, so that's wonderful. Page 129 represents our motor vehicle accidents. We actually sustained 2 for the month of October. One of them was a meter reader truck while it was parked unattended, as the employee was actually performing its route near Grand Avenue. It sustained damage, roughly the rear driver's side quarter panel, moderate, like I said, mostly cosmetic. No injuries, anything to report, but we do believe it was a unidentified vehicle due to some paint transfer. The second one was a water engineering SUV involved in a minor motor vehicle collision, on the east-west connector. No injuries at the scene or anything of that. It was a result of another personal vehicle failure to apply the brakes and yield, if you will. So, other than that, it's been quite an excellent month. Questions?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, water distribution.
You're probably starting to get the idea that we've let all the staff go because everybody's coming in, but they're really out with different personal issues or whatever. They do still work here, trust me, except for Mark.
Well, I understand Alan had a surgery and he's doing well.
Yes, Yeah, he had successful back surgery. He's doing really well. So, good evening. The departmental report for the month of October for the Water Distribution Department is on page 130 to 132. We had 3 new services, 4 outages, and 2 water main breaks. I can take any questions about anything else. I'm also in the process of the water fountains, getting that.
Oh, okay.
The one that's going to be down at the, we're going to put one at East Frankfort Park, and then one is going to go down at the
Farmers Market?
Farmers Market.
Okay.
But we had to get a report to the state about what it was going to look like, and give them some details. So hopefully we'll get approval on that soon. So.
Did they give a date when they would get back to us?
We sent the emails, but I haven't got anything back yet. So I didn't see anything in the correspondence that they weren't going to say okay. So I'm hoping late winter, early spring, we can get those installed.
And then I think the third one we had talked about was Dolly Madison Park, or I probably have the name slightly wrong.
Yeah, I know we've looked at those 2 locations that I spoke of. Dolly Madison Park, we were going to look more into that location, about where the water line laid, and a good location to put it there.
And the city had a project going that maybe it would coordinate well with.
And I'll look
next
into
year.
that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, one I was curious about, do we have any usage rates for the fountains that we have out now?
I could go back and look at they've got meters on them. So we can actually go back and look at the usage on the meters and see how many gallons of water they're using per month.
It's just a curiosity now that the season is pretty much over for them. I think maybe they're all enclosed now.
They are. They've all been winterized, and they're covered and protected for winter.
It might be good just to note how much they got used, and then we have a chart for if the frequency goes up, each year, or,
I think they went over pretty well.
I think so. I know dogs really liked them.
Yeah. I saw
they have their own dish.
Yeah, I saw posts on Facebook after we installed them. Their dogs are saying thank you. So yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
So, anything else? Thank you.
I think we're good.
Have
Thank you.
a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Okay, water treatment plant. I bet the amount of rain we've gotten has gone up even farther.
I'll address that first. We are now currently sitting at our 2nd wettest year of record for Frankfort. Now, that only goes back to like the early 1990s, but we are right in line with Louisville and Lexington, whose numbers go back into the 1880s. So we need another 1.25 inches to be the all-time wettest year on record. So
I bet we can do that.
I bet we can too. I am almost willing to say we'll probably do that in the next week or 2 with the forecast. That said, the report for the water treatment plant is on page 133. We're still continuing to pump pretty good water. For October, we treated 253.8 million gallons, averaging 8.2 million gallons of water a day. So the usage and pumpage is still up. We had 5.4 inches of rain in October, well above the normal. Because of that, we saw significant flow in the Kentucky River. It was flowing at 7,700 cubic feet per second, or 5 billion gallons of water a day. And that's on average. So there were many days that was up to 30,000 CFS or higher. Someone asked me the other day, was the river ever going to get back to normal? And just about the time it does, it rains again. Other than that, everything is going well at the plant. So any questions?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Item number 5. Oh, Diane. Did I jump over you at some point? Or you are?
No, I'm here for item number 5.
Oh, good. Okay. Good. I was worried. Consider third-party administration TPA services, stop-loss coverage, and plan changes for the 2019 FPB employee health.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. First, I want to welcome a guest, Robin Curry. He's with Cheryl Morgan, and Cheryl Morgan is our healthcare benefits consulting company. And the other thing I want to mention is that you should have a handout related to this item of some additional information. But MedBen has been the third-party administrator for the Frankfort Plant Board Health Plan since 2008. And their responsibilities include maintaining eligibility, customer service, adjudicating and paying claims, preparing claim reports, also other services such as compliance reviews, coordinating network access, and case management. The most recent 3-year rate guarantee that we have with MedBen will end at the end of this year. And so staff asked Cheryl Morgan to issue or to assist in issuing an RFP for services beginning next year in January of 2019. We received a total of 4 responses to the RFP, and we also received quotes from 2 carriers for fully insured coverage. After reviewing the proposal submitted, staff and Cheryl Morgan recommend renewing with MedBen. And I just want to mention that there was one TPA that had total lower fixed costs. However, it's my understanding that those figures were not firm, and they had also experienced where they had been purchased fairly recently over the last couple years and have been experiencing some challenges with that. So our recommendation, staff's recommendation, and Cheryl Morgan's recommendation is that we renew with MedBen. MedBen's proposal includes the renewing with Pan American for specific and aggregate stop-loss coverage. The total estimate expense for 2019 plan year is approximately $2.5 million. However, I do want to mention that our actual claims experience for the current plan year has been significantly lower than expected and is running under budget. And if this continues, of course, one of the primary benefits of being self-funded is that the plant board keeps the savings when claims are lower than expected. Finally, MedBen conducts a compliance review at least annually, and there are some changes for compliance or for clarification of our benefits that I have listed in the board package. And we're also asking that the board approve those changes. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. And also anything that you might have for Robin.
I think,
We approve the third-party TPA services, stop-loss coverage, and plan changes for the 2019 employee health program.
okay, motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Guess I did good.
Okay, Robin, thank you for standing by. Okay, item number 6, approval of building space license agreement for basic customer provided access with AT&T with an annual amount of $9,600 and a one-time site preparation fee of $40,440.
Hi.
Harvey?
So what I'll be talking about are actually both items 6 and 7 tonight. The ultimate goal is to get to number 7, which is to approve a new 10 gig circuit, but we have to keep the horse before the cart, and so we have to approve this lease of space at the AT&T facility before we can get to that. So just keep in mind that if we don't approve number 6, that number 7 is moot. Basically the facility charge is $800 a month to occupy that space, and then there is a $40,000 one-time fee to prepare that space for our presence.
Where is the actual space? Is it In Frankfort?
It's local, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the circuit that we intend to ask for in number 7 is a 10 gig circuit that we're going to take to Chicago. It's very much similar to the circuits that we've asked for via Windstream and Spectrum to get to the peering facilities in Ashburn and Chicago. And this will allow us a redundant link to Chicago. Today we only have one, and it will allow us redundancy to protect against any kind of outages, and allows for additional capacity.
And so does this improve our cable type service or our internet service or both?
It expands the overhead capacity that we have to be able to absorb additional customer demand for internet bandwidth. So we have to keep moving that bar to stay ahead of the customer demand. Customer demand grows at about 50 to 60% per year over year.
So this mainly helps internet. It doesn't do anything for cable?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, this is all internet.
Okay. So any other discussion, questions? Okay. So perhaps we should approve item 6 and then go on and discuss and approve item 7. So do we have a motion for item 6? Okay, so Steve motions basically the statement of item 6. And is there a second?
A second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion passed. And item 7, go ahead with the wholesale master agreement. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion,
Okay.
as stated.
Okay, Don's making a motion to accept action item 7 for the 10 gigabit transport circuit lease. And a second? Okay, and Steve seconded. All in favor of this option? Aye. Motion passed, so thank you. Got them both covered there. Item 8, authorize the purchase of 2 sodium hydroxide, sodium
Hypochlorite.
hypochlorite generating cells for disinfecting water at the water treatment plant in the amount of $110,200.
Yes, ma'am. So the on-site chlorine generation system at the water treatment plant has been in operation since 2010. The process basically uses salt, water, and electricity to generate a sodium hypochlorite solution that's used for disinfection purposes. The electrolytic process of the electricity, water, and salt takes place in these cells. The system that we currently have consists of 2 banks of 2 cells each. One is always online, the other one is a redundant system for backup. We replaced 2 of the cells last year. These cells have a warranty or a life of approximately 7 years, so we have reached the useful life on our 4 cells. So we replaced 2 last year. The second cell is starting to see a decline in its operation. It is just not capable of keeping the amperage needed to generate sufficient electrical current to make the sodium hypochlorite solution. So without that bank of cells, we do not have a backup system should the other set fail. This money is in the fiscal year budget, 19 budget. We are purchasing through Denora, who owns the system that we have, which is Chlortech. This will be a single source purchase. It is not recommended that you mix different manufactured cells within one on-site generating process. So we basically stay with the Denora cells. So with that, I'm asking approval to purchase my cells.
Good. Are there other companies that make this equipment too, or is it?
There are.
Oh,
There
okay.
are. but everyone is designed a little differently, arranged a little differently. And so basically, once you start with one, unless you want to start from scratch,
Right.
you stay with the same manufacturer. I will note that they did not raise their prices, so the price remained the same as it was last year.
Okay, that's good. Any other comments, or?
I move we authorize the purchase of 2 sodium hydrochlorite generating cells for distribution of water at the treatment plant in the amount of $110,200.
Okay, and a second? Okay, and Steve seconded that. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Thank you, Julie. Okay. Item number 9, informational item, general manager's comments. Gary.
I would like to use this chance to have people help us to looking for the 3 item. We hope there's a chance to help a customer.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, and this
yes.
was presented at Candlelight this past weekend?
That's a part of it.
Okay.
She will help me to go to detail and also
Very practical with the Kentucky basketball on the back.
thank you. Yes.
It would encourage people to keep this around.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, last Friday at Candlelight, we kicked off our Winter is Coming campaign. And that is really just to get people to start thinking about things they need to do to start saving energy during the winter months. So I'll tell you that, yeah, we took a couple of guys from the electric department and they brought the light board down, which is a demonstration of how LED bulbs save more energy, so much more energy than regular incandescent bulbs. They typically use about 65 to 80% less energy and can last 25 times longer. The team also gave away more than 250 LED bulbs and other information to encourage energy efficiency. And it was really good because we were set up right across from the Grand Theater, and it was the night Jerry Deaton's plays were on. So we had a good crowd, and they came over, and it was very just engaging of the community. So, excuse me. To go along with this, we've put, we also handed out those little Winter is Coming and the basketball schedules. We've also put it on our website as one of the sliders, and you can click on it, and it goes to the same information, and then you can also download the flyer itself, and then it also takes you to energy.gov, which has a bunch of other tips for energy saving during different seasons. So that's one thing. We're also producing 8 30-second spots, and each one will talk about a different tip, energy saving tip. Those are going to run on cable 10. No, those are going to run actually on FPB cable in regular programming. And to tell customers how to save energy, and you also save money during the cold months. They're going to run on cable 10 and be featured on our social media. We'll have them running out in our lobby, and we'll also put them on the website too. Another thing that we're doing, because it is the holiday season as well, it's also a time for giving. We've set up a gift certificate program. It's called Power. And here, I think I've given you the request form. You can see it here. Power stands for Providing Others Water and Electric Resources. And it's a program that other utility companies do. And basically, let me tell you just a little bit about it. Beginning December 3rd, FPB will offer gift certificates through its new Power program. Power stands for Providing Others Water and Electric Resources. The program allows a gift giver to credit the Frankfort Plant Board account of the customer of his or her choosing. The Power gift certificate works more like a credit, While a traditional gift certificate can get lost or stolen, the power credit is deposited directly into the recipient's FPB account upon purchase. So FPB will automatically deduct the amount of the purchase from the recipient's next bill. So again, if you prefer to give practical gifts, this is a good one to do. And it's really good, say, for like college students, young adults who are trying to make it on their own, families in need, senior citizens. It's a good opportunity that we can give to other people in our community to help others. So we're happy to do that. And again, we'll be promoting this as well. I've drafted a press release about it just to let people know about it. We're also going to have a designated web page that is in the process that tells a little bit about it. Share the power of giving, give some power today, and this gives you a little information about how you can do that, and then it will link to the form, so we have it on our website.
Kathy?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Can we just give it and then it go into an account to be used for just somebody that needs help paying their bill?
That's the next step. That's the next thing we're talking about.
Okay.
You're ahead of me.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I have one other question. I notice it references water and electric. Would it also go towards cable?
Yeah, it will just
telecom?
apply to someone's bill
Okay,
to pay
we're
any of
emphasizing
the
water and
utilities
electric.
of the
Okay.
services that we provide here at the plant board. It was really hard to think of an acronym that included everything.
Well, that's fine. I just wasn't clear on it, but.
No, yeah, I
it's
totally
pretty
understand. Good question. So we'll also be doing a 30-second spot about this that'll run on FPB cable and promote it on social media and radio. We're going to educate our customer service staff about it, and then have information out on in the lobby and little handouts that customer service can give to our customers that come in that might be interested in it. So, on to winter care. That's the third thing we're talking about. This is, some people may want to share the power of giving, but not have a specific customer designated. So they do have the opportunity to do that. And if you notice on your bill now, there's a little box that says winter care, and that is designated for the winter care program. It's a partnership we have with Bluegrass Community Action Partnership, and you can donate any amount, any month, and those funds go to Bluegrass Community Action, and they offer community services like low-income home energy assistance program, which is LIHEAP, winter care, and weatherization programs. Yes.
Does any of that money go to Roslyn? Because I know, or at least in times past, Roslyn also helps people pay.
Well, I've heard that too, and actually, I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
We have asked someone from Bluegrass Community Action to come and speak with us, and they would like to do that. So if that's something that we can set up, they'd like to come to our December meeting, if we can talk about that, to talk not only about this, but about other services that that they provide that would be really good resources for our customers. Yeah.
Is this tax deductible?
It is.
Okay.
This
all of it is
not the gift certificate,
Yeah.
but the
Community Foundation.
Yes. So, what they do is, it gives the opportunity for a tax-deductible donation that will be given to Bluegrass Community Action, and those winter care funds are available to those most in need to pay their utility bills for winter care, for winter services. And the funds are distributed by Bluegrass Community Action, and they do a client assessment to identify a need in the home, and the winter care funds received from FPB are used for FPB clients only.
Just a question, I guess,
Yeah.
for Hans, really. Can the plan board offer tax deduction? Because, I'm just trying to see how you can incentivize people more to give to those to the gift certificates.
I don't know that we're designated as a charitable organization or not. I mean, I don't know what criteria you have to satisfy with the IRS to be a charity. I don't know that we're a charity. That's my Be my,
Probably have to be a 501c3.
have to be see what they,
Well, I'm sure not. I'm just trying to figure out a way that further incentivizes people beyond the personal to give the gift certificates, because those are the, you know, the ones that are probably most in front of you types of gifts. And
That might be difficult for the tax thing, but this one, they are saying it goes to just FPB customers, so that would be maybe as close as we can get.
And I was thinking maybe that, and I don't want to cloud the administrative process, but if it flow through them, the gift certificates, perhaps it can go serve the same purpose, go to the individual, but also have the credit. I'm just looking to see if anyone still needs tax deductions with the new tax law.
It's a good time of year to be thinking about that. So again, I mean, I would guess that's probably why we're partnered with Bluegrass Community Action as far as being able to give those gifts and have them be tax deductible. Again, I'd like to have them come and talk to us a little bit about what they do, because I've given you their a brochure about the different services that they provide, and they do have a lot about energy saving. They do have, again, the LIHEAP program, and they do have a weatherization program. And they can perform audits if you qualify. And I think they have a strict process in who is eligible to receive those, because they are for those most in need.
Right. And I think when we worked on the energy efficiency initial meetings with stakeholders, I believe that they participated on some level.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's right, some of those groups.
They could come back and talk to us. That would be good.
So these are some things that we've been working on that, again, the spirit of the season, it's getting colder. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. It's a time of community, and we're proud to be a part of it and to offer these services and just to encourage more people to be more supportive of each other and for those in need. So we're happy to do that. Then one last thing I have to, you don't know this yet, I have to announce, the customer service shared with me today is that Santa will be here at FPB Friday, December 14th from 2:30 to 4:30. If you want to bring your kiddos down after school, we're going to have some small gifts, those free movie coupons, and some goodies from the Hallmark Channel that they're donating to us. So we'll have pictures with Santa, and we hope you can come down. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good program there. Gary, did you have anything further?
No.
Okay, thank you. New and old business.
My Thanksgiving gift to everybody is not to have any new and old business.
Great. Okay, thank you. And so then we're on to item 11, closed session. And I'll go ahead and read that. Pursuant. We don't need a closed session? Okay. So I guess another gift. So we have a move to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
And a second by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
I want to remind everyone there are deer lurking everywhere, to watch for those as you're driving. And happy Thanksgiving. So, thank you very much.